No matter where your journey's starting from, there is a voice calling you. Taking you True story. When Harriet Tubman first escaped from slavery, she heard a voice that said, "I want you to help free others." Do you know what Harriet Tubman said to that voice? She said, "No." She said, "Not me." She said, "I can't. I can't." But the voice wouldn't let up. It wouldn't let her be. "I want you to help free others. I want you to help free others." Finally, Harriet Tubman, the woman who would be known as Moses, said yes. Yes. Walk by faith, not by sight. Moses walked in the middle of the night, step by step. She followed a voice, she couldn't shut it off. She didn't have a choice. Told her when to move, told her when to wait. She was walking in its footsteps, she was walking in its grace. It wasn't just the people Moses led through the night. It was anyone who's ever walked by faith and not by sight. You gotta walk by faith, not by sight. Listen every step of the way. Move on into the night. Let that northern star be your guiding light. True story. Harriet Tubman, with the help of the Union Army, once freed 750 slaves in one day. Can you imagine? 750 people. She liberated an entire plantation. The voice of spirit doesn't mess around. When you listen to that voice, you are never the same. When you listen to that voice, you are free. And it doesn't stop there. You take others with you. 750 are still alive today. They're your sisters and your brothers who struggle and in vain. They're your doubts and your fears when you say, "I can," when you can. And you will. When you walk by faith, not by sight. Moses walked in the middle of the night, step by step. She followed a voice. She couldn't shut it off. She didn't have a choice. Told her when to move, told her when to wait. She was walking in the footsteps. She was walking in his grace. It wasn't just the people Moses led through the night. It was anyone who's ever walked by faith and not by sight. You gotta walk by faith, not by sight. Listen every step of the way.
Good morning and welcome to Sacramento Center for Spiritual Living Sacred Sunday Service. Wasn't that wonderful? I'm Ruth Hall, President of the Board of Trustees and currently Production Manager for online events. Please remember that this service is being recorded and we do post it on social media. We post it on our website and on our Facebook page. And I just want to tell you that, by doing that, we are able to reach those who can't be Zooming with us this morning, or for new people to SCSL that can't connect to find a place and they want a place of sanctuary and community. So we post it on our social media in order to reach those people. But wait, let me tell you that by joining us on Zoom every Sunday morning, that gives you the best experience. Not only do you see and hear the message and the readings and the live poetry, but you also get those special music pieces like what we just saw. We also have guided meditation experiences that we can't put on those recordings. So please join us for that. And directly following our service, we shut off the recording and you have an opportunity to be in fellowship with everyone and also to ask for a complimentary spiritual mind treatment from a practitioner in a separate private breakout room. So keep logging on Zoom every Sunday morning and be a part of the whole experience, not just the recording. So now it's my pleasure to introduce our senior minister, Reverend Sharon Dunn, who not only has a master's in consciousness studies, but is our resident Facebook expert, a talented photographer, and our inspirational leader. I give you Reverend Sharon Dunn.
Good morning, everybody. How we doing? I see Lavette's here. Oh my goodness, what a treat. I'm so happy to see you. Aloha, sister. So everybody unmute and say good morning to one another and then mute yourselves again for me. So unmute. Good morning.
Good morning.
Good morning, everyone.
Good morning, Patrick. Hi, Patrick.
Good
Good to see you.
Carol.
Good morning, everybody.
Good morning, Diane.
There's Ann up there. Hi, Ann.
Oh, Ann.
Hi, May.
And Hana, yes.
So it's so good. This is so good. I just at the very last minute had some technical difficulties and I am in another room and yeah, here I am. So we are going to introduce our practitioner of the day and be sure, Lavette, to stay till after service. We have a fellowship time and we'd all love to say hello to you. Be sure, Lavette, till after service. We have a fellowship time. We'd all love to say hello to you. Okay, so is everyone muted? All right. So I do have the honor and privilege of introducing our practitioner of the day, Linda Connolly, who is also chair of our community outreach. And she is also on our board of trustees. I could go on and on about Linda. What a beautiful soul, very beautiful soul. And if I had one word to say to define Linda Connolly, it would be spirit. Linda Connolly, thank you, dear.
Good morning. Thank you and welcome. And so we're doing something a little bit different this morning in recognition of the fires that are burning up and down our West Coast. And so I'm going to do a prayer reading instead of our traditional invocations. So please relax, breathe in these beautiful, powerful words. So as the ashes are falling and we're scooping them off of our pools, brushing them off of our cars, please remember the ashes falling from the sky are all that remains of the pine and grass and thistle and bear and coyote and deer and rabbit and mouse that could not escape. Scoop them up in a sacred manner. Take it to your altar. Offer prayers for these beings. Honor their death and their transition. Pray for life. Call in rain. Remind fire that it is full, that it is gobbled enough and can rest. May all beings be loved. May all beings be remembered. May all beings be mourned and honored. Amen. So please stay tuned for our meditation. Prayer choke me up.
I dreamed of rain and the rain came, soft and easy, sweet and clear. I dreamed of rain and the rain came, and peace spread over the land. I dreamed of summer and the winds changed, and the green was easy and the rivers ran clear. I dreamed of summer and the winds changed, and peace spread over the land. And the flowers bloomed in the desert, and the air is fresh and clean. I dreamed of rain and the rains came, and peace spread over the land. I dreamed of freedom and the moon rose, and the way was easy and the path was clean. I dreamed of freedom and the moon rose, and peace spread over the land. And the guardian stars are shining, and the night is bright and clean. I dreamed of freedom and the moon rose, and peace spread over the land.
When prayer removes distrust and doubt and enters the field of mental certainty, it becomes faith. Ernest Holmes. If you want to be successful, it's just this simple. Know what you are doing, love what you are doing, and believe in what you are doing. Will Rogers, Faith Leads. The kingdom of heaven is like a mustard seed planted in the field. Though it is the smallest of seeds, yet when it grows, it is the largest of garden plants and becomes a tree, so that the birds of the air come and perch in its branches. Matthew 13, 31, 32. If you have faith the size of a mustard seed, you will say to this mountain, move from here to there. And if it is goodwill, it will move, and nothing will be impossible for you. Matthew 17. So please, we're going to relax and breathe into our meditation. And following our meditation, we are going to be gifted by Doug Van Workum, who has been playing the drum and sharing poetry for many years. He uses poetry as a way to help explore, understand, and heal some of the inner woundings we all received as children while growing up in this culture and continue to carry in our adult lives. He uses the powerful poetry of Rumi, Hafiz, and many others. He also writes and shares his own powerful poetry, which is deeply influenced by the science of mind teachings. But first, our meditation.
I call in a radiant, healing light to surround us as we enter sacred space together. Breathe deeply, gently, slowly, allowing yourself to relax into this moment now. Breathing slowly, deeply, gently. Feel yourself beginning to let go. Muscles relaxing, tension releasing, body softening. Breathe deeply, gently, slowly. Focus your awareness in your heart center. Allow yourself to accept uncertainty. Give yourself permission to surrender the need to control things, situations, people. Breathe deeply, gently, slowly, and trust. Trust your process. Trust the hand that you cannot see that guides your life. Have faith in the higher power and the divine plan for your life. Breathe deeply, gently, slowly, and have faith. In the darkness, you see with your heart. Take a deep, cleansing, calming breath and open your heart, connecting with Source. Allow your heart to guide you with love through uncertainty, through challenges, through pain. Breathe deeply, gently, slowly, allowing your faith to strengthen. Allow your faith to strengthen. Know that this too shall pass. Breathing deeply, gently, slowly. Choose the path of love, the path of the heart. Remember, you are guided and supported in the light, even when you cannot feel it or see it. Breathe deeply, gently, slowly. You are one step closer each moment in your journey. Breathe and believe. Surrender the stress. Breathe and believe. Surrender the worry and anxiety. Breathe and believe. Find courage and hope. Breathe and believe. Find strength in faith. Breathe and believe. Find peace in true, unconditional love. Breathe and believe in the divine master plan. And so it is.
Good morning, everyone, and welcome. When I create a poem to share with you during a Sunday service, it must include several things. It must acknowledge or admit to some kind of challenge that I or we are facing, which means no spiritual bypass, no pretending. It must include some new kind of perspective that I've not seen before, or remind me of one that I have forgotten, that allows me a way through the challenge. And it must be affirmative. Or to say it another way, life happens, wake up and choose, move forward. Now, to make writing a poem like this even more interesting is to cover all that ground in a different way on a different topic in each stanza, and to have it all hold together at the end. And hopefully be entertaining as well. Sometimes I'm more successful than others. This poem is called, I Am No Longer Swimming Against the Tide. I've heard it said that nothing stands between us and heaven but our own beliefs. Ernest Holmes said there is something that casts back at us every thought we think. When will we stop running through life looking for proof we don't belong? When will we stop running through life looking for proof we don't belong? Learn to feed the healthy guard dog of your soul. Start out by saying to yourself every day, I am no longer swimming against the tide. Einstein said, "You cannot solve a problem with the same level of thinking that created it." Now, if this is so, what do we do? There's another saying, either you're in prayer or you're in chaos. I say, let's pray to always lift ourselves up and together say out loud, I am no longer swimming against the tide. Isn't it amazing? We are so powerful we can even destroy our own dreams. When we've spent our whole life saying no, it can be hard finding the way back to yes. But we'll know we're on the right path when we no longer betray ourselves or those around us. When we've spent our whole life saying no, it can be hard to find our way back to yes. But we'll know we're on the right path when we no longer betray ourselves or those around us. Remember, friends, the path of least resistance is through the heart. Let's all take that journey together and to sing out loud, I am no longer swimming against the tide. How long before we let ourselves grow shamelessly? Listen carefully when Brené Brown says, learning self-respect is the wildest adventure you will ever have in your life. When that happens, angels will joyfully travel halfway across heaven just to hear us say, I am no longer swimming against the tide. Go ahead. Travel all the way to the Holy Lands to find God. But until you kneel down inside yourself, you will never be free. Listen closely when Carl Jung says, the surest way to lose your soul is to believe in a God outside of yourself. So let's all support each other as we turn within and together softly say, I am no longer swimming against the tide. You know, I've wandered through this life for so long, searching here and searching there. Praise the Holy One. I am finally learning now to trust my own spiritual practice. That's why I can say, let the rains come, the winds blow, and the tides rise. So what if the world thinks I'm mad? Now, whenever I'm lost in the midst of any storm, I hear singing, and I set out in that direction, calling out along the way for everyone to hear, I am no longer swimming against the tide.
Thank you. Beautiful. That was wonderful. Gosh, aren't we lucky? Aren't we blessed to have this beautiful artist with us? You know, before I get started, I wanted to, thank Doug, and I notice Jaime's here too, and quite a few others who were yesterday at the center packing, taking down the television and banners and curtains, and everything we did together was so incredible. I think Corey, you're the one that said, well, there's so many of us, it makes it easier, or someone said that. And I'm just so filled with gratitude for everyone who helped us yesterday and who will come next Saturday for the big move, and then the following Saturday for the cleanup. And that's going to be easy too, because we're going to leave our sanctuary better than we found it. And it already looks pretty good. So we're off to bigger and better things following the pandemic. Well, we will have faith in where we're going and know for sure that we are ever expanding in what we're doing as a community and what we're bringing to the world as a community. So today I'm talking about convinced, devotion, and faith. That's my talk title. Convinced, devotion, and faith. and our theme for September is Faith is Knowledge. I really like this topic because faith, and while I'm talking, I may refer to God or God of your understanding or the Creator or whatever you call that power greater than yourself that you can use, that power greater than yourself that created you and created everything that we know to be creation. So whatever it is that you call the Great Spirit, called by many names, just know that whatever it is that you believe, we're calling faith today. And so faith cannot be destroyed when you have faith in what cannot be destroyed. Does that make sense? Faith cannot be destroyed when what you have faith in cannot be destroyed. I think that's such a revelation. Patrick, that's such a revelation for me this week, is faith cannot be destroyed when what you have faith in cannot be destroyed. And what a time we're in that we can fall back on our faith to get us through all of this. And I say this every week, you know, I've never been here in my 70 years. I have never been where we are today. And the good news is my faith has never been stronger than it is today. And that is very helpful as we're going to get into it. The 3 points I'm going to make today is faith built from acceptance, trust, and belief. Number 2, demonstrations build faith. And what do we mean by demonstrations? We mean what outpictures, what shows up, what manifests. So we call that a demonstration. And sometimes I think that some of our lingo can be lost if you don't really know how we're framing it. And the third thing is faith is always made stronger by aha moments. Am I right? It sure does help to have proof in the pudding. I love the science of mind for that very reason. I love that what I give attention to expands, and what I believe I achieve, and what I have faith in shows up in my life. I love that. And you know, I want you to be thinking about that aha, because I think we can forget those big ahas when we have such big oh no's in front of us. Do you ever get overwhelmed by the big oh no, oh my, WTF, where's the faith? Right? We've got to keep the faith, folks, especially now. So faith built from acceptance, trust, and belief. You know, the original topic was skepticism and doubt. Of course, I changed it to convinced, devotion, and faith, because I know what we give attention to expands, and I love to speak in the affirmative. And as Doug was saying in his poem, it's not about a spiritual bypass. What that means is it's not about, you know, hiding our head in the sand or not paying attention to what's going on by any means. In fact, the information about what's going on, that's good information. That helps us then to translate, doesn't it? It helps us to translate what we want instead of that we can bring into form, not only for ourselves, but for all of us. And we have a lot of faith work to do right now. So skepticism is questioning, and it's always good to question. I have a questioning mind, and a healthy dose of questioning is a great tool for developing and understanding what we believe and know. We have to know what we believe. We have to define that for ourselves. Luckily, we have a teaching that if we didn't know what we believe, we could simply use this teaching and just follow the teaching, because it's so amazing that way. You don't have to give up your religion or your, country of origin or your culture or anything to enjoy this teaching. This teaching embraces all of the great scriptures, all of the, the holy books and the prophets. Ernest Holmes uses all of it. He was a Bible scholar. He definitely studied, well, we know he studied the Bhagavad Gita because he wrote a complimentary book, The Voice Celestial, to speak to the Bhagavad Gita. So we know he loved all of the wisdom. We know he referred to all of the wisdom. We know he used all of the wisdom, the great wisdom. And so when we think we know it all, we are not willing to question what we believe. So Ernest Holmes talks about this open at the top. You've heard of that. When we close our minds, when we think we know it all, we're not willing to question what we believe. We're not really open at the top. Right now, wouldn't you say that we want to stay more open than we've ever stayed open before in any time in our lives, any time in my life? I want to stay open so that I stay connected, because I'm noticing that when I get into it's my way and the highway thinking, I don't know if anyone's thinking that right now. It's my way or the highway thinking. Raise your hand if you have had any of those kinds of thoughts. If you don't believe what I'm believing, there's something wrong with you. And that isn't going to connect us. That isn't going to keep us open at the top either. I really make sure, and sometimes white knuckling it, that I listen to both sides. Boy, that is a beautiful and wonderful discipline. That is a beautiful and wonderful exercise in loving mankind, is to listen to both sides with, I was going to say with an open mind, but I would be lying. I'm going to listen to both sides with a willingness to become willing to have an open mind. I'm just, and that is helping. It is helping me. So here's the thing. Skepticism and exploring our ideas, that's very important. But when we attach the skepticism, it interferes with faith. We really actually can't have faith and skepticism occupying the same space. So basically, our skepticism is to question and then answer, so that you can seed something to believe in. See something to believe in, and believing it's bigger than yourself, believing that it's for you and not against you, believing that it is power, a power you can use. Try those, just experiment with it, because I find that if it's not something I can see, it's harder to have faith in it. Do you agree? If it's out of sight, out of mind, out of sight, out of mind is not a good thing right now. We want to make sure that we are out of sight, in mind. Out of sight, in my mind. That's a mantra, because we want to make sure that we are thinking about our faith, relying on our faith, believing in our faith that there is something for good for all of us that connects us to each other forever and ever. And as I say, it impresses itself on its creation. It creates out of itself, the creator creating creation, so that it impresses itself upon our soul, which is also immortal, ever expanding. So if we don't see it, think it, see it in your mind's eye. See it in your mind's eye, because I can tell you right now, the more faith that you are collapsing into form from that wave of potential, the more peace you will have in these times. The more your body will respond. The more health will be yours, the more wholeness, the more, it's just it demands us to balance ourselves right now, because we can be out of balance with all that's going on. So you can understand how important this talk is. Some people have written that faith is the only thing that's important. Faith is life itself. Faith brings us joy. Faith brings us prosperity. Did you know that? Did you know that our faith affects other people as well? That our faith does good in the world? Because what we have faith in is our good. You know, Emma Curtis Hopkins called God, added another O when she spoke of God. Our good is at hand. But do you ever feel like you believe more in what's going on in the world than what's going on within you? Faith is not visible. Therefore, you must observe it with your mind's eye. This is a practice. Do you feel like you could just go along and not even think about it? And if you're not even thinking about it or giving attention to it, it's not happening. I want to say it's not real then. It doesn't become form. It doesn't become a demonstration. It doesn't work in your life the way it could. You know, it's really important right now to pay attention to what we can't see. It's really important to pay attention to what we can't hear. How crazy, that's a crazy idea, wouldn't you say? Because I mean, a lot's coming at us with the news and gosh, you just go outside and it's, you know, we can barely breathe here. I mean, we're not going to list everything that's going on right now. But what can we do to balance that? As Ernest Holmes says, what can we do to neutralize some of that stress and anxiety? Faith. You know, our declaration of principle is what we believe. We believe in God, the living Spirit Almighty, one indestructible, absolute, and self-existent cause. We believe in God, in good, in a higher power, in a God of your understanding, in spirit, in whatever you call it love, just call it. Just call it. And since every thought is a prayer, we have to carefully monitor our thoughts. We talk about this a lot, that every thought is a prayer, because some people will say, well, why didn't my prayer get answered? Every prayer is answered. It may not look like the prayer you spoke into, but it's not just about speaking. It's about having that conviction. It's about having that emotion behind it. It's about knocking out and all the doubt and everything that cancels it out. It's really, this is a faith walk. This is not something we're going to do for an hour on Sunday. I really invite you to go out this week and realize and count on what you believe in. Count on that created you, that loves you, that connects you to all sentient beings. Connect to that and use that to balance what's going on right now in the world. So we had a reading, Linda read about the mustard seed, and I find that a very interesting story about the mustard seed planted in the field. And the thing I loved about the story, you know, we can read these parables over and over and always get something new. And what I focused on this time was the fact that the mustard seed The mustard seed, the smallest seed that turns into a giant plant, a giant tree, affects others. Our faith, think about our faith as the mustard seed. How in the world can my faith affect others? But if you think about the mustard seed and you think about the tree, and what was in the tree? Birds. And what did the birds do? They carry more seed. It's just this beautiful connection that here's this seed that's buried, that creates this plant, that creates a place, branches for birds to come and be birds. And then what? Then what happens from there? This is what faith does. Your faith affects others. Your mood affects others. Your joy, your despair, your energy affects others. We are energy. And so back to this parable, the more faith we put in this divine being, or this God of our understanding, the more we allow good to direct our lives, the more power and blessings we're going to have. If that's true, and I'm going to say it is true, I know it's true, it's scientifically proven to be true. If we could have more good, more health, more abundance, more peace, more strength, if we have more faith, why wouldn't we spend more time building that than giving our energy to that which diminishes our energetic, that upsets us, that worries us to no end, or panics us, anxiety and so on and so forth, that comes from all that's happening that I don't want to minimize. And it's not that I don't talk about what's going on around. I do. Are you kidding me? The reason I know so much about what's going on right now is because I have to do something about what's going on right now, because I've devoted my life to my good. I've devoted my life to loving that was created by the lover itself. I am definitely watching how my self-talk, how much I spend on, on the different news channels. I'm not going to say which ones. Gee. I'm careful with myself, and I am doing better because of it. And it's not obvious. It's not like you can turn on the TV and turn it to Channel Faith. This is where you gotta get maybe even a faith buddy. Like, hey, I'm gonna buddy up with somebody and check in with that buddy to see if I'm thinking about my faith, if I'm feeding my faith. Are you feeding your faith? Are you feeding it? Are you feeding it your conviction? Are you feeding it your belief in it? Are you feeding it with gratitude? Are you feeding it? What are you feeding it? Is it vegan? No. I don't know where I was going with that. So how about Will Rogers? He says, even if you're on the right track, you'll get run over if you just sit there. You see where I'm going here? This is an action. I'm asking you to take action on your faith. If you don't have faith in good, there's a good chance you won't be looking for anything to take place. If you don't have faith in something and you don't have a belief in something, you're not creating anything, because that's how we create. So I think this idea of having a faith buddy is a good idea. Like, seriously good. You know, I was thinking about God. My God is very tender, personal, my beloved, I have often said, you know, set the table, put a placemat there, you know, put God in shotgun when you're driving, and make sure you put the seatbelt on, and just imagine imagine if you put your trust, if you put your trust in me, do you know how good I'd feel about that? If you put your trust in me, I would feel so honored. I would feel loved. I would feel so connected. And I imagine that is how spirit feels when we put our trust and our faith in that which can create through us. It's almost like giving permission to something that is ready to go. It's ready to create. It's ready to serve. It's ready to create more love, more abundance, more peace, more joy. But we don't let it out. we don't let it express itself fully because it's invisible. It's like having an imaginary friend, I often say. My imaginary friend is an infinite presence, ever present, ever expanding. And I know I've often called my imaginary friend Howie, because spirit knows how. I don't have to worry about that part. So anyway, what I want to talk about next is demonstrations build faith. So have you ever had an answered prayer that you knew had to come from the transcendent realm? Raise your hand if you've had some prayer answered, something that demonstrated in your life that there's no other way to explain it other than it was spirit. It was spirit. Those demonstrations build faith. I mean, and what's really fun is you can have that happen all the time. All you have to do is give attention to it. It's kind of like a 3-year-old. Although, actually, no, because a 3-year-old demands attention. And spirit does not. Spirit will wait your whole lifetime. Wait your whole lifetime if you're not, you know, going to turn into it. Gosh, what a life that would be. So every time you have a successful manifestation, or, you know, you can have a success journal. You can actually write down, I don't know how this happened, but it happened. Because that helps to build that faith muscle. And remember, we're feeding faith right now. We need to feed faith right now more than we've ever needed to feed our faith ever. Well, ever in my lifetime. Ever in my lifetime. And remembering that when we're doing our spiritual mind treatment, or when we're doing our prayer, that we don't put doubt in there. I'm not saying that we don't have doubt. I'm saying we're not going to, I was going to say, we're not going to date that doubt. We're not going to send it flowers and take it out to dinner and dance with it. We're going to just know it's there, and then we're going to say, okay, so what is the spiritual principle that I would like to see more of? Thank you, doubt, for giving me that information that I needed to turn this around, And Ernest Holmes says, meditate upon the spiritual significance of the statements you make until you induce within consciousness a definite concept of an already established fact, even though the fact may not have become objectified. Okay, so what did Ernest just say? Ernest Holmes said, fake it till you make it. I'm sorry, faith it till you make it. Ernest Holmes is saying, even if it's not out there, even if it hasn't pictured itself yet, that doesn't mean that it isn't in wherever it is in the transcendent realm, making its appearance. We've got to continue to believe, because, of course, with that formula, A plus B equals C, if you have A, a conviction, and B, a doubt, what do you have? You have nothing. So you've got to put that positive, affirmative, in the present tense, personal, powerful, and possible treatment into form. And this is what we're going to do for the next, how many days? I think it's like 52. Are you with me? Are you with me? And last but not least, faith is always made stronger. And just like luck, we make our own luck and we make our own faith. And why is it so important? When things don't go according to plan, we can lose faith. Am I right? Have you ever failed at something? You know, just because we fail, we're not failures, but I have failed. I have failed magnificently. I have brilliantly failed. I have failed in front of 600 people. I have fallen on my face. And when I've done that, I have fallen on my faith. Almost every time. Almost every time I can say, I got into fear. You know, those two can't occupy the same space. That was another talk. But I have failed beautifully. And I have had to pick myself up and get back in the race. That's life. And I have to say that when we fail, we can lose faith. But remember, faith cannot be destroyed when you believe, when you have faith in that which cannot be destroyed. Faith, we can lose it. Faith at its core is deep-rooted in the expectation of good things to come. It goes beyond hope. While much of hope lives in the mind, faith is steeped in the heart and the spirit. It can't be explained away by reason or logic or be understood through a single dimension. Isn't that fantastic? When I read that, while much of hope lives in the mind, faith is steeped in the heart and the spirit. It can't be explained away by reason or logic. Faith is knowledge. Isn't that our theme for the month? Faith is knowledge. So what do we do? What do we do to become knowledgeable? We've got to put energy into it. We've got to put energy into that which is invisible so that it becomes made manifest, not in reality, which I had read earlier, because what is real if we think about it? If it's invisible, is it real? But it definitely can be experienced. Now, if we can consider our experience real, I can. In fact, I often say these principles, love, light, harmony, peace, joy, so what if you don't experience them? Faith must be experienced. So it may not show up in form or in what we might call reality in the material world, but it will have its effects. It will have its experience in and as and through us in the most magnificent way. And that, wouldn't it be nice to get a break from despair and fear and being scared to death and worrying about the future and our health care and everything else that's been thrown at us recently? You know, if we can't go out because we're sheltering in place, we could be sheltering in grace. I'm going to say we could be sheltering in faith. I just thought of that, but I'm going to do that. I'm going to be sheltering in faith. I want to say that because what I'm trying to get across here is that it's got to get in the forefront of our minds. not the subconscious, not the subjective mind. It's got to be right there all the time somehow. Wear a post-it on your forehead, or molly beads around your wrist, or something for the next couple of months to constantly remind yourself of who you are and whose you are. Do something to bring it into your attention. I say, you know, we look at it with our third eye. We look at it from that inner knowledge, from that inner knower. But sometimes if we're not seeing it, or if we're not hearing it, you know, or maybe even we're not feeling it. We've got to do something to bring it into our experience, to bring it into our reality. You know, I'm not going to go into it, but there's a lovely story about Job in scripture. Boy, that poor guy. Now he had nothing but faith. He had a family, he had, you know, his crops and his animals, and he was rich. He was rich in his life. And he, you know, and the test was, well, would you have faith if all of that was taken away? And so the story gets kind of gruesome. However, it's no more gruesome than the story that we're living right now. I mean, you could just take out a few things and put in a few things, couldn't you? You could kind of rewrite the Job's pandemic. Job in 2020. The 2020 Job story. So everything's taken away, the poor guy. I mean, there's forest fires, and then there's a COVID virus, and then there's you know, there's 500 other things going on with poor Job. And what does he do? He trusts God. He believes. And so because he passed this test, right? Because we're all passing this test. We're either passing the test or we're not passing the test. We're either letting faith be the direction of our life, or we're going to be in fear. Either or. And it's okay to, you know, test those waters and get in there. But what's wonderful about this idea is that there's something we can do to feel better, to affect others, to contribute, to change the energy, to offer up a better idea for humanity. There's something we can do here. And it's going to take some effort, because everything else, if you notice, even in Job's original story, those were all things, people, places, and things that were taken, that he lost. And these are all things, the forest fire, the this, the that. These are all happening, and we can't look away from it. We cannot look away from it. And so what can we do? We've got to meet it where it is and overcome it with something better. Are you with me? This is very, very important right now. I don't know how many of you are kind of getting in the mindset of, I don't know how long this can go on, and I don't know how I can deal with it as it goes along. Do you ever feel like that? Raise your hand if you feel like, when is this ever going to end? And what is it going to be like? And what is life going to be like? Well, the good news is we could start today and have a discipline. As much as we reach for that remote control, we might want to have another remote control, and maybe not invisible, maybe an object, maybe molly beads or something, maybe an alarm that you set on your cell phone that reminds you to turn on that faith, because, and maybe if you do, okay, I just watched a half an hour of news, I'm going to have to watch an hour of faith to neutralize some of that stuff going on, right? You know, and the strength that comes from faith. The reason I say that is because, and I can vouch for this. The reason I say that is because I've been through things, we all have, defining things, things that, like, we all have a Job story, don't we? We all have a Job story where we've lost something, someone. And because my faith is so strong, I realize I'm human, but if I tap into my faith, then I'm literally tapping into a power and a presence that's infinite, all powerful. And suddenly I have the strength of God. I have the strength of faith. I have the strength. I don't have to do it alone. I don't have to do it with just what I've got. I don't have to do it with just what I know. I've got one mind, an infinite mind. I can tap into that. I can tap into strength. I can love more. I can tap into the heart of God. I can do more. I can tap into the hands of God. I can be that bird on a branch, affecting the world around me. I think that's just wonderful. You know, it's important that we believe and expect good things. Do you really, do you sometimes forget that that's a good thing in these times? Do you forget that it's important that we remember that we can believe in good and live in expectancy of our good? This is going to take some doing. Right now, more than ever, I'm calling you to be with me in this, to join and remind me of who I am. Remind me of the power that I have at hand. Remind me that I can feel so much better if I trust in the one. My favorite, absolute favorite scripture, you know, Linda just so beautifully read. My favorite is Matthew 17:20. If you have faith the size of a mustard seed, you will say to the mountain, move from here to there. And if it is good, if it is goodwill, if it is good for all, it will move. And nothing will be impossible for you. Isn't that beautiful? Will you join me in this? Will you commit to ringing in the faith that is in your heart and in your soul, that makes your health better, puts more money in the bank, that affords you more peace, more joy? Will you do this with me? Will you, if you are watching the news and starting to feel overwhelmed, will you think about faith and get fully whelmed in that? So take that overwhelm and become fully whelmed with something bigger than that, bigger than us, that is for real, that allows its creation to be what it is, affords us free will. And so guess what? We can just spend a lifetime not even thinking about it. What kind of life? What kind of life is that? Instead, just look at the smile on my face thinking about it. This is faith. WTF. Where's the faith? Let us pray. So you can send your prayer requests to our website, where we will be informed immediately and pray for a week. Our ecclesiastic team will pray for the whole week for you. Or you can put it in the chat, and our team will definitely have that. And also, if you want to stay for fellowship, we have practitioners that you can go into another room from our Zoom room and have a quick 5-minute miracle with the practitioner. So I am going to start my prayer with the sound of God. And we trust and know that there's a power, a presence, called by many names: Allah, Yahweh, Jehovah, the Great Spirit, and by avatars, the Buddha, Jesus, the Christ. Called by many names: love and light and harmony, infinite wisdom, infinite mind. Called by many names. Called by many names and always, always answers. A generosity of creation, creating out of itself so that all of creation are a part of this beautiful, powerful presence. And it is creating out of itself, so I am not different from it. I am of it as it. I am that is. And I call myself Sharon. I call myself and sing my name, God-given. And I know that I am created in the likeness of, so I am forever and ever. Powerful, loving, intelligent, beauty. I know that for each one of us, that not only are we created out of it, but we're connected in it. And so I declare and claim from the depths of my soul and my heart that I remember that I am. I remember that I am. That each day I wake up, I remember, I give attention to, I focus on the fact that I am that powerful. I am that presence. I'm that loving spirit. I am the mustard seed and the bird. And right here and now I stand in the commitment to bring more faith and more love into the world through and as me. That right here and right now, I am clear that it is imperative that I give attention to faith, that I bring faith into realization, that I bring faith into recognition, that I speak faith, that I believe faith, that I feed faith, that I am a walking, talking consciousness focused on this faith in my good, in the good of all, in the good of humanity, in the good of this planet, Mother Earth. I am capable of making a difference. And I'm in. I declare participation in this world, creating a world that works for everyone. I am in. And the faith that propels me into this action, into being this spiritual activist, is the power of the Almighty. And that lives and has its being in each and every one of us to its fullness, ready, available, willing. I am that strength and that power and that presence. And I know that for each of us. And I'm so grateful to know this. And I'm so grateful for this prayer answered. And I simply release my word into the power of the law, that with my belief and my conviction and my faith, it has to be so. And it is. And so it is. Amen. Ashe. Shanti. Hallelujah.
Today, our guest musician is Chad Wilkins, who is an American-Australian singer-songwriter, whose rootsy folk anthems carry themes of love, gratitude, risk, honor, and pure, vibrant life. We're blessed today to have a special gift from Chad called Song of the Dawn, and you can find Chad on chadwilkinsmusic.com. Please join me in listening to this beautiful song.
I will sing the song of the dawn in the dark of the night. Yes, I will sing when the morning takes too long. I will bring my own light. Yes, I will sing the song of the dawn in the dark of the night. I will sing when the morning takes too long. I will bring my own light. Let the storm at my feet, with the wind beneath my wings, and the pattern we weave from the hands we've received is the beauty in everything. There's beauty in everything. There's beauty in everything. Yeah. I will sing the song of the dawn in the dark of the night. Yes, I will sing when the morning takes too long. I will bring my own light. Yes, I will sing the song of the dawn in the dark of the night. I will sing when the morning takes too long. I will bring my own light, and the to feel the pain, feel it hard and feel it all the way, so you don't have to come back there again. There is a reason why it came. Oh, there is a season for the rain. So if you have to feel the pain, feel it hard and feel it all the way, so you don't have to come back there again. There is a reason why it came. Oh, there is a season for the rain. And the lesson is the blessing within the pain. And there is a message in the test that's coming around again. And this is the way you will see the light. So learn to sing the song of the dawn in the dark of the night.
Yes. Hi, and this is our offering time. And what we are offering is an opportunity for you to give. You can give 3 different ways. You can give through the website at www.sac.csl using PayPal or credit card. Look for the donated button on our homepage, or you can give by sending a check and mail it to SAC CSL, and the address is shown on the screen, and it's on the screen, as I said, and it's 6035 Main Avenue, Orangevale, California, 95662. Thank you. And now to remain muted as we say together our affirmation. I give thanks for the abundance that is mine to share, and my willingness to share it, being in the flow of the law of circulation, knowing that my gift returns to me multiplied many times over. So it is. Ta-da. And now for announcements.
So Sharon, Reverend Sharon, will you share with us our books of the month?
Well, one of these, Parker Palmer, of course, is Reverend Patricia's favorite author. I know she's here. I think she's listening. And Falling Upward, you can actually listen to the author, Richard Rohr, on YouTube talking about his book, Falling Upward. So these are our 2 books for September. And then I am canceling our Thursday evening class, not canceling, I'm postponing our Thursday evening class until after the book study is over. I would like to invite everybody to support the book study that Debbie's doing. And so when she's finished with that, we'll resume our class. And she is actually going to start her class over this Saturday, so you haven't missed anything. She literally is going to start it next Saturday, the 19th, and go all the way through November 14th. So be sure to check in on the book study.
As Reverend Sharon mentioned, yesterday we had an amazing work party at the center, packing and taking things down and working together, socially distanced, of course, But it was a wonderful time, and we're looking forward to having another work party this coming Saturday on the 19th. That's when we're going to load up the trucks and move everything to storage. And then on the 26th, we'll go back and clean and make everything beautiful. So whoever leases that space will have a great place to go into. But just volunteers, please come anytime between 9:30 and 1:30 the next couple of weekends. Text me, let me know if you're coming, but just come and be a part of us moving forward, moving into storage so that we will be ready for our next wonderful location that will be coming soon. So please join us for that. And please keep in touch on Facebook and Meetup and on our website. That's where we put all of our information, all of our videos, all of our things on there. Keep track, keep looking, and join us for all of the special events and opportunities that we have to connect together as a community. And now join us, as you're being still muted, with our closing song. I am filled with loving kindness. I am well. I am peaceful and at ease. And I am happy. We are filled with loving kindness. We are well. We are peaceful and at ease. And we are happy.
And if you remain muted as we say our affirmation together, I live in the faith that there is a presence and power greater than I am that nurtures and supports me in ways I could not even imagine. And now, in the gratitude that we hold in our hearts today for the message of faith that we received from the music and from our ministers and from our poetry reader Doug and from Linda and from everyone that's participated. We are so grateful for the faith that we have and that we keep and that we encourage each other. And knowing this faith, we take and we bless this service and we give thanks, like I say, and we take this blessing and we send it around the earth for peace and harmony and love and joy and all that's good and all that's God. And so it is.
Hi, everybody.